Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first brand new faction, brand new units coming with the Age of Annihilation. So, designer notes day 1. The Dawn Raider Syndicate. A first look at our initial concept boards associated with one of heroScape's new playable factions for the upcoming release of Age of Annihilation. The Dawn Raider Syndicate represented an amazing opportunity to recognize some of our previous fan favorite species in the new product line, while also creating a platform to experiment with new creatures and unit types. Enjoy. So we had gotten this concept art that looks absolutely fantastic. There is so much here to unpack. I'll try to go through it as much as I can. So there's a bunch of units here. We don't know at this point, we don't know what squads, what's heroes, common, unique, nothing. There's so many different designs here, and it's so fantastic to see because this faction is just so different from what we've ever seen before. We don't know if this is future or past. The whole point of Age of Annihilation, of what we've seen through the teaser trailer and what we're seeing now, proposes this idea of the world in Valhalla being destroyed in some way, as if part of the land and part of the world is being decayed and destroyed. So there's a lot of characters here with gas masks and protective gear and armor. A lot of them look like bounty hunters. They got bandanas, like I said, gas masks, different types of scarves. Their weaponry looks very like Wild Western, but yet still very futuristic and alien. Giant Cthulhu monster, a goblin riding a Cthulhu monster, 2 different types of weapons. We don't know if that's something that we can switch out at some point, because there have been units in the past where like the wings can come off, not for any practical reason other than the packaging them that way. But who knows, maybe this new Age of Annihilation says, okay, well, if your character is got this gun on, it has this ability, and if you can swap it out. That would be incredible, and very, very fascinating to see how they do point-wise and how they do card-wise. But that's speculation. Characters here we have seen, for example, we've seen the shark guy. We saw a bug-looking character, this dwarf-looking character, this viper lady we've seen. That's on the Gen Con show floor. So a lot of really interesting designs here for these characters. So day 2. Faction lore, so let's learn about them. The mercenaries of the Syndicate call no Valkyrie their master, refusing to bend the knee to any of the warring factions on Valhalla, with motivations as varied as the composition of the species that call the Syndicate their own. The Dawn Raiders take to the battlefields of Valhalla for whichever side pays their higher price. For temporary loyalty, often found in the shadows of the main advance, they fight for more than just the spoils, booty, or carnage, but because they enjoy the challenge of battle. The Dawn Raiders are led by charismatic council of captains, who collectively function as the Syndicate's governing body in deciding the path of the Dawn Raiders, negotiate terms with the other factions on Valhalla, which contracts to honor, confirm new members into the group, etc. With such a diverse mix of characters and specialties within their ranks, there is always a willing crew available for the required task at hand. coming into each battle hard and making their impact felt, fighting like madmen. And then brings us the Monster Slayers. So we now see that a bunch of these different characters are now considered the Monster Slayers. Interesting enough, there is 4 different types of characters on this concept art, which is really, really interesting to me because we don't know how many are in this squad. Is it 3? Is it 4? Can you mix and match these heroes? Like, we just have no idea. So hopefully maybe we'll find out sooner than later. But the Gorillinator type character with the giant gravity hammer, we got the shark guy with the harpoon and hook knife combo, and this big lizard monster with that giant power hammer as well. But then down here in the little corner, little dwarf guy is just on the concept art. And like I said, I don't know if it's a 4-man squad. Can you swap these characters around? Because even in the previous concept art, the bug-like character with the 4 arms in a pose next to Shark Guy and Dwarf Guy. So is he also possibly part of the Monster Slayers? Is there multiple squads of them? I mean, it says it's a unique squad, but are they introducing this idea of mixing matching characters for the Monster Slayers? What is confirmed to be the Monster Slayers? So it's very fascinating to discover what this squad really is. Maybe having that dwarf guy on the bottom there is maybe, a miss on their part. Maybe they slipped him in by accident, or they thought it was I don't know. But I love all of these designs. It's also really cool that the lizard guy has a dual-wielding knife combo pose that they could have gone with, which totally cool with too. But that would also make them look very different from each other pose-wise with weapons. So if they all have these big hulking weapons as a squad card, I'm assuming that their point value and their base stats should already be similar, because all squads all have the same base stats. So if one had 2 knives and the other 2 had 2 big hammers and they were both attack was 4, I guess that would be okay, but it doesn't feel that they all should be attacking the same, if that makes sense. So then we go to day 2, again, part 2, faction powers, to highlight the awesome powers and synergy between our unique squads and the Dawn Raider Syndicate heroes. Let's take a look how these Monster Slayers and the Widow work together to overwhelm their enemies on the field of battle. The Captain's Way, power of unique squad. At the start of the game, choose one unique captain you control to be their chosen assigned captain. While within 4 clear sight spaces of the chosen captain, roll 1 additional defense die against attacks from non-adjacent figures. Before taking a turn with the Monster Slayers, you may first take a turn with their chosen captain or Dawn Raider hero you control. Pirate Commander, power of unique hero. If there is an order marker on the Widow, all Dawn Raider figures you control gain 1 additional attack die when attacking adjacent figures. And we got this image of the Widow, a brand new hero, unique hero coming with Age of Annihilation, and her design is phenomenal. I absolutely love this. Her pose is so just demanding and just like this badass pose, showing off to anyone that comes near her and says, you know what, I'm gonna take you down. You have no chance against me. Her her swords are really, really cool. I don't know anything about weapons, so if you know the name of it, let me know in the comments below. Her whole design and demeanor is really, really cool. Yes. Okay, I found it. So, the Widow, the heroScape Age of Annihilation character, is based off a real pirate historical figure. And I'm gonna totally mess this name up, but Ching Shi is one of the most feared pirates of all time. Was the menace of the China Sea. Born in humble beginnings as Shi Zhanggu, became known as Qing Shi, which meant widow of Zhang. She was quick to seek the backing of her in-laws in her bid for leadership of the Red Flag Fleet to help her maintain the day-to-day concerns of sprawling pirate army. So yeah, so look up, if you want some more information, look up Qing Shi, or maybe Shi Zhanggu. So I will put those in the description and on the screen, so you can type those in and you can find some more information about her. So, other than the fact that these were getting some really badass characters, but they're also historical characters that I presume was summoned to Valhalla and over time adapted to Valhalla's habitats and their people, and this is why they look to have more futuristic and more modern gear. But so you are getting historical characters here, they just don't particularly look historical. Just because a lot of time has passed from since they were summoned to Valhalla till the present time that the story is being moved to, which is Age of Annihilation. But it is super cool that we finally got to look at some special powers for these characters. So, you know, these monster slayers will bond with their unique heroes, the pirate commanders, and the pirate commanders will be getting abilities or special add-ons from attacks, defenses, stuff like that from their squads. So it's a really cool way to have this family of Dawn Raiders move across the battlefield and have them have synergies between each other and not just one way or the other. So I think it's really cool to see even mix match different commanders, because each of the commanders is going to have different abilities and different the monster slayers. Well, I wonder, because they say monster slayers in their descriptions, so I wonder if the monster slayers will be, you know, the faction, not a faction, but like species name. But then also there's going to be different monster slayer squads. They're all going to be unique squads so that you can mix and match your heroes and your squads and all that. Maybe. We'll see. Day 3. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We got a good one here. Recognition of our past and a path towards our future. For almost 2 decades, players have endeared themselves to the faces and forms of so many interesting personalities on the surface of Valhalla. When we initiated the project and started development, we made the decision to drastically expand our universe, giving existing players an opportunity to build out a world they have only seen a small fraction of, while also providing new players a chance to own something themselves. We wanted every new player to feel they possess a level field to begin their collections alongside the original generation of heroScapers. However, this game means so much to so many players, and the memories it has created for fans are simply the stuff of strategy gaming legend. To that point, We wanted to ensure existing fans were able to affirm that those creatures and narratives they loved could live on into this new era. The Dawn Raider Syndicate provided us with the perfect opportunity to reintroduce many of our beloved and recognizable species back into the battle of all time, reminding us all that the war never ended on Valhalla, and grounding our next chapter in a foundation of our past, while also providing everyone something fresh to spark their imaginations for our future together. Oh boy! Not in a million years I could ever guess that we would be getting a Morrow pirate. Never would have guessed this. And add a unique hero? Yo! This is so awesome! I love this. I love everything about this. This design. He's wearing pants. Could we just like understand or just like wash that over our brains right now? He is wearing pants. He is a civilized, broken from the hive Morrow unit. Maybe he's a drudge. He does have what looks like a drudge weaponry because it's, all of their weapons are pushed through their own bodies, and I guess they shoot their own goo or whatever, but that would be a really awesome story though, if he is broken away from the drudges and became his own pirate commander. And that would be amazing. I don't know. We don't know his name. I want to know his name. Put your guesses in there. Maybe he's a Khan. Maybe he's a Nigok. I don't know the languages. I don't know the language, so I can't even give a really good final guess of what this character could be. But this is so cool. I love this so much. I'm so happy. And this makes me so happy. And don't get me wrong, I'm trying not to give this nostalgic feel, because I played with the Morrow today. It's still nostalgic to me, but it's also it's still going on in my life now. It's really not that nostalgic, but I love the Morrow, and I know a lot of you out there do as well, and it's so awesome to see this type of character be aligned, maybe not with the Hive. To have this concept where he broke away from the Hive and has his own life is phenomenal. So, that is incredibly exciting. I love all of this. Day 3, Part 2. This is the Dawn Raiders. We have gotten the most concept art for the Dawn Raiders. So, we have a lot more information about how these characters essentially live on Valhalla and function more than any of the other factions we have seen so far. So, backwards compatible, but full of new twists. For so many strategy gamers, heroScape represented something different. For so many strategy gamers, heroScape represented something different and accessible. It reached new players and jump-started a generation of gamers looking to plunge into tabletop wargaming. Who could stand proud over their armies of battle and apply their competitive spirit? It was a requirement from day one that anything we produced would be backwards compatible with existing rule systems and game mechanics. However, it couldn't simply be more of, and the team took on the task with zeal to unlock a greater depth in the range of abilities and powers. For the team, nothing excites us more than to see how you will dive into all new army builds, combinations, and strategies. using all new powers to once again march to war upon the surface of Valhalla. And for those who love their historical ties, perhaps a closer look is needed. A master of disguise. If Pirate Queen Bonnie is targeted with a normal or special attack, roll a 20-sided die. If you roll 12 or higher, the attacking figure may not attack Pirate Queen Bonnie. Very cool. Now I'd like to highlight, for those who love historical ties, perhaps a closer look is needed. So we just noticed before with the Widow, she is a historical character, and now so is Pirate Queen Bonnie. Because with doing research for the other character, for the Widow, there is an actual Queen Pirate Bonnie. So yeah, Annie Bonnie, which sounds like a really fake name because, if you're telling somebody, hey, where did she go? Or, where's anybody? And you go, I don't know. What do you mean? Who's anybody? She could be anybody. But Anne Bonnie, I believe it's Anne, not Annie. But anyway, born Anne Cormac in 1698, this Irish lass with luscious red locks and a dangerous temper became an icon of the golden age of piracy, 1650s to the 1730s. After marrying small-time pirate James Bonnie, Anne's respectable father disowned her over the marriage, so she and her new husband moved to a portion of the Bahamas nicknamed the Pirates' Republic. We don't know where she went. Maybe she went to Valhalla. Maybe she was summoned. heroScape is real! She disappeared into the seas. So, yeah. A historical character in heroScape that doesn't look historical because she was summoned with the Widow to fight this war, and they haven't been able to go home. And so they're stuck here on Valhalla, living out their days. So they've adapted. They've moved on. They've gotten some high-tech stuff from the different factions and the different characters, different armors and weapons. And they've been training over the many years, battling all sorts of foes. So cool. And this concept art is fantastic. We saw her on the stage at Gen Con, and it is so cool to see the choices here that were made to make this character look as badass as the others. I love it. I love the face. I love the armor masks. I don't remember what is the. It looks like they went with the mask for her, but I don't know if you get to choose that or not. Some of these they talk about that some assembly may be required. More like the dragons, right? The dragons some of the dragons you can put the wings on. They came disassembled, and I wonder if some of these smaller characters will come with other options so that you can make them as unique as you want them. So maybe she does have, a face like they show in the concept art, and maybe different masks. So it is up to you to customize them. I don't know. That is my speculation. Either way, I'm happy with whatever they choose. But it is so cool. And who knows? I mean, you can probably make her... I mean, obviously, they're going to be coming unpainted, and that's totally fine because, they shows that in the Gen Con photo here that she does not have red hair, and so her historical character says that she has luscious red locks. So you can paint her hair red, and that would be awesome. So that makes me really happy. And what really, really makes me so happy? Day 4. This was a Friday, and we got the coolest news. Wow! Those baby dragons grow up really fast, don't they? Have a great weekend, everybody. And I don't know if you guys are understanding what's happening here, but we have a new friend back. So Sonlin has been confirmed to be returning in an Age of Annihilation. And bro, that's a big dragon. He's still serving Ular. He's got the flag. He's got his staff. He's got his cloak. I don't know how much more overpowered he can get, because I think Sonlin's really overpowered of a unit. But because he's got a big dragon, I'm assuming now he can fly. You know, he could never fly before. So I assume he has fly. Maybe he can still heal and fly. And maybe his dragon has an ability to fire breath now. So definitely he's got at least 3 different powers here. Because even before, right, his dragon was able to do swoop, his dragon swoop. And then he can also heal. So I assume he can do, maybe not dragon swoop anymore. He has to do a different ability from that. But he can still probably heal. He can still probably fly because he's riding the dragon. So, yeah, this is awesome. I love it. So we've seen a pattern. We now know there is a pattern to this, to the release of the concept art. So from Monday to Thursday, we get every day a concept art on the new faction that they're showcasing for the week. And then on a Friday, they bring us somebody we already know. So that was Friday. That was the last of the concept art. Let's head over to CapSocrates on the heroScapers.com forums and see what's going on over there. So, leaving off from where we left off last, in Carmine, Chris, Nadal. So, hello! I know you're watching. Thank you, sir, for all your wonderful news and your entire team. Thank you, Craig and Doc, and I can't think of everybody else right now, but thank you guys for bringing this game back again. So we go from Obi-Swan Kenobi. He says, is the Dawn Raider Syndicate going to be a running faction like the Morrow and Omnicrons were, aka over multiple foreseeable expansions and such? He says, very much so. It was obvious we needed that level of depth. If we were going to build a larger world without a layers between the Valkyrie and each planet and species, everything tends to feel disjointed and random. You need some obvious buckets of organization in the material. And then he responded with super cool, and I agree. One of my big gripes with CapSocrates was that the factions that never got fleshed out, like the Guerrillas and the Wild West types. Exactly. So much noise and nothing to really follow. You are all the exception, but ask outside this sphere of hardcore fans and historians, and you will find a majority that fail to even understand most aspects of the story. It is very hard to follow and full of contradictions. Took Ryder, Craig, and I a lot of time to unravel some of the tangle. So, okay, so he is talking about the story of heroScape. There is a lot of story there that I am looking to cover in a separate video, and I'm currently learning about it right now. There are journals, comic books, official comic books coming out of DC Comics, by the way, and which is weird because there was a whole Marvel set thing, so I don't know what happened there, but so there's a lot of story stuff that has a lot of contradictions, and there's a lot of stuff that they had to essentially, like they said, untangle and figure out, well, what's the core Scape experience? What is the story about? How do we move on from there? So there's a lot that they had to work out, and they're trying to make their story more streamlined and not too broad. All right. Oris asks, with there being a more solidified storyline, are we expect any executions of the story in other media to connect the dots and fill in gaps, i.e. comics, books, short animated clips, etc.? He says, I really enjoyed making the HeroQuest lore videos. What is that?
Heed well my words, for I am Mentor, guardian of Lortone. Many centuries ago, Zargon was my apprentice, and dangerous secrets of dread magic. Once he learned these secrets, the wizard, the wielder of arcane power, the dwarf, like resilient fighter, and expert craftsman. Best is to put an end to Zargon's reign of evil once and for all. The quest is calling.
So if we got something like this, I'd be kind of happy. I mean,
darkness is gathering. A growing army of dread assembled under the banners of a power-hungry conqueror stands poised to destroy the world in a calamity of fire, blood, and death. My lore tome has shown me what the world requires to combat the did pass them by. Lurking in the it rests in the hand, grinds courage.
Alright, so this is very story-based. So yeah, I mean, this is probably not what people want, to be honest. But I have a feeling this is what we're gonna get. But I don't know. I have no idea what we are actually going to get. I'd like to assume that that they are gonna do a little bit more for HeroScape. HeroScape's a bit different of a game. Maybe they'll do faction videos. Maybe they'll do, maybe it's gonna be all narrated. Maybe it's gonna be all narrated. And I guess that's going to be cool to catch up, but to me, that's not the best way to do storytelling. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But I think it all depends on what kind of budget they get after the initial launch of HeroScape. So I'm going to reiterate this. Let's make sure and help Avalon Hill make sure that HeroScape, this new version of HeroScape, and this continuation of it does really well. So that means we'll get more of it. If there is a demand, they will supply. That's all I'm saying. So here we are. Definitely looks like I'm going to need to go reread some lore. Is there any updated compendium floating around? And in Carmine, or actually Mega Silver says, well, Avalon Hill is literally working on an updated one. So, and then he's like, #facts. Cool. All right, great. I'll leave it in the description below. There is a compendium already, but they are working on a brand new one. Facebook person number 1 in response to someone else. Ooh, I like the sound of that. A band of mercenaries fighting for themselves. Now, instead of a general who brought them here. Very thematic. Ding, very well played. Wait, is that what they are? Disgruntled warriors of other generals that fight for themselves now? And he says, in a world ravaged by destruction and chaos, a war that calls up on the entire galaxy to stand upon cataclysmic fields of battle. After countless campaigns, hundreds of thousands of casualties on both sides, do you honestly believe everyone is satisfied simply picking a side and carrying their war banners? It is not called Age of Annihilation for nothing. No, I suppose not. Oh man, this is definitely giving me ideas for a potential theme or two. That's kind of the point. This is your game, HeroScapers. The galaxy is going back to war for you. So that's really pleasant. I really like that. That's a great response. So this is regarding D&D stuff. Is being canon or not. Original posted by Chris. I think it's obvious to say that yes, it was canon at the time, but that the story took several turns away from being uniquely heroScape and became instead a derivative of D&D lore instead of being its own thing anymore. I think the Wizards team made every effort to create a linear continuation of the story, but had to weave it into the D&D universe and compromise anything that would conflict with their intellectual property. This creates a bit of a mud pie for heroScape as its own brand and may require us to unravel certain elements from that era to untangle those two stories and make heroScape unique again, while at the same time providing new fans some degree of comprehensible lore without needing to do hours of research in old databases and forms to understand the story. So yeah, like I said before, like they said before, there is a lot to unravel from the D&D and the heroScape, and to keep those just that's probably have to be a lot stronger to pull that apart. That's probably a bunch of wires you do not want to just spend with untangling. Original question from Gabo says, will older units come back? Are you asking about reissues of the exact models and units, or an expansion of original factions, for example, Grut War Elephants? The former, will we ever see reproductions of old units, or perhaps remakes of said older units? Now, this guy doesn't know much, I presume, because we just saw this past week of us talking about Sonlin is coming back. So yes, they are doing that, but as of reprints, Chris says, I won't say never, but I will say it's currently not a priority for our development team to invest in recreating one-to-one miniatures that players may already possess in their collections. I will also point out that factories do not keep tooling in some magical weather controlled warehouse ready to immediately load back onto the machines at a moment's notice. Most tools become damaged and pitted over an extended amount of time and become useless for reproduction. So if they are going to be bringing stuff back, they are going to have to essentially recreate those designs, and that's a whole ordeal. But I found out recently there is a website. Check out this website, Trexy3D.com. A link for it will be in the description below. And if you go to their catalog, right off the get-go, we can already see that there is heroScape stuff here. 3D printed of all the old units. Yes, they are unpainted, but you get to get your units. So, 4th Massachusetts, Axe Grinders. So, there we go. There's more pictures. Knights of Weston, $9 for a squad. Mohican River Tribe, $9. Looks like the Protectors of Ular are a little bit more expensive. That's fine. That makes sense. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, we don't have the Protectors. We might have to look into that. More Heavy Gruts. $650 for this guy, which I believe he was a Gen Con exclusive. So I'm gonna go check out them and support their cause. And for Trexy3D, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So originally posted by Dadscaper, part of the dev team. So the Pirate faction is one that I spent a lot of time with. What are you looking at here is a couple of powers that are, of course, not final, but are pretty far along in the design stage. The Widow is a pirate commander, and the Monster Hunters are a pirate squad. So he changed it from Slayers to Hunters. So we could have Slayers and then Monster Hunters, and then Monster this, Monster that. So it's very possible that there's a lot of different unique squads within the Dawn Raider Syndicate. One of the coolest things about pirates, both real and fictional, is the colorful personalities of their captains. So when setting out the basic structure of the faction, I wanted the relationship of captain and crew to take center stage. What we're looking at here is what I came up with, a sort of bonding power that interacts with, among others, captains who in turn might reflect effects, powers back onto the pirates themselves. It's sort of like the Greenscales army, if only the dragons / lizard folk synergy was a two-way street. Continuation there. They are pirates. As you now see, the Dawn Raider Syndicate is the name of the faction. This squad is unique. There are other Syndicate squads, though. Yes, they have other powers. Captain is a new thing. So they're confirming too that the captain class is brand new. We've never had captains before in heroScape, which captain is generic enough. You would think we would have had captains, but now we do. I'm excited. That's awesome. I love it. Utah Scott says Monster Slayers, a 3 or 4 unit squad. I was asking that before. There are 5 different figures in that update art page. He says currently 3. Some people already correctly discerned that we are looking at a multi-species squad here. And yes, so it is 3. Okay, so yeah, he was saying that there was a bunch of them on the art. We did look at that earlier. I had pointed out 4 different, so he might have found a 5th one that I didn't see. But there's going to be 3 part of that squad. So I don't think they're going to be interchangeable, but it looks like that there's going to be maybe monster hunters, and then monster slayers, and maybe monster something. And they could be called, I mean, everything's in quotation, so everything's up in the air right now. They don't want to confirm anything yet when it comes to the names and abilities. They just want to give you a taste of what they have. The Avalon Hill staff did not weigh in on the tournament scene, but on the subject of proxying Nadao, Chris, did have the following to say. It's first and foremost that a question of the tournament players. Proxy miniatures can be confusing to new players and lead to even unintentionally unconscious bias when the models are not one-to-one for true line of sight. Is that something the community wants to deal with? It's not simply an issue of a company wanting sales. It's the possibility that the fairness of competitive gameplay can so easily be put into question, and then we lose so much more than the subjectivity of a cooler looking sculpt on the tabletop. It's a difficult topic. As a 40k player for decades, I feel like I've lived through all this in prior existence. You all will ultimately determine those answers. If the fans want tournaments there shall be. If fans want proxies in those tournaments, organizers will bend. If fans rage on unfair competitive advantages, proxies will get banned. If fans want grunt more mammoths. There are pirates all over the world, and pirates historically and famously press gang civilians into service. So it makes sense that our pirates, heroScape pirates, would be a mishmash of this and that. What a perfect way to include some of our old friends. So here you see Marrow Pirate, a Marrow Unique Hero. I'm reluctant to answer at this moment whether we're looking at a captain or not. So, okay, we're not sure about if he's going to be a captain. But he's a unique pirate hero, so certainly it's a reasonable guess that he might be. So, yeah, probably, but also maybe not. Just tell us or not, come on. I think it just hasn't been confirmed by a higher up to say that if he's a captain or not. You're also looking at another human, Pirate Queen Bonnie, a master of disguise. Over the course of the coming releases, you will see a lot of new members of the heroScape family, new genres, new races, and so on. So the pirates are also an effective way to make sure that we have humans present in the new set. So yeah, I mean, it's a great, the pirates are great. Pirates are a perfect faction to have in heroScape thematically, and they're pirates. the fact that these are a cavalcade of different species breaking apart from all the different Valkyrie generals and saying, you guys, get out of here. I don't like your war. I don't want your war anymore. Hey guys, why don't you come over here? We don't worship anything. We're just gonna here for money and survival. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. I love all of this thematically, gameplay mechanic wise, that they work together on a two-way street. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Dadscaper also continues saying, of course, and art being what it is, I won't say that it's not a space pirate faction, but I prefer thinking of it as a Valhalla pirate faction. Like I said, it makes perfect sense thematically. And he's like, why would we bring back heroScape after all these years and release 30 figures? Krug says, I was not in on that chat from the start this morning. Chris and Carmine was definitely implying more than 30 figures in that initial offering. It was not 100% clear if that was all Master Set or Master Set Plus expansions packs. Definitely seems whatever is initially offered in whatever format will exceed 30 figures. Regarding the shape of the army cards and what the community prefers, Avalon Hill has discussed putting together a survey to get our feedback, which I was not a part of that survey. I want to put my 2 cents in. Chris says, I'm extremely curious because the data on this point, points in multiple directions. Couldn't really have the larger fan community weigh in earlier without blowing the lid on all of this. What we're seeing currently, that is almost 4 equal perspectives. 1, the OG multi-hex, which I want. 2, a standard size playing card that can be sleeved. 3rd, a hybrid that is original to HS but doesn't have quite the potential to get damaged like the originals. 4, no opinion. So, what could you possibly do to make a hybrid that is original to heroScape but doesn't have quite the potential to get damaged? Look, I'm an adult now. Most of the heroScapes are adults. I have no problem. I mean, I understand that the cards can be damaged and ripped and whatever, but like, that shape is iconic to heroScape. There is no other game in this entire world that has a card of that design that essentially fits on the board the same size as the 7 hex. Whoa! Come on. It's so cool, and I love how each little piece of that card gives us intel. Because even on the side panels of the hex, we have well, looking at my screen, we have the line of sight and what we could hit marker, and then we have on the other side we have like the little species and what size it is and what class it is and personality, and the card art and how it's put together. I think it fits on the card perfectly. When I was at ScapeCon, I did see not a lot, but I see quite a few people that had reprinted the cards to be, like the size of Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, square rectangle cards. And it looks weird. I'm just so used to the 7 hex design, and it would be disappointing to not see that 7 hex. And I hope they make that decision, but then again, I also understand for maybe like printing purposes and for integrity to do something different. But I just don't want just a plain old blank card, I'll get used to it, but it's not. I have a whole binder with the 7 hex card design, and it looks so awesome. I love showing people the cards, and they just look at that and just see how different it is and how wild and different and unique it is to the game. And I hate to see them not do that, truly. I didn't even know that was ever in question, to be honest. But I guess it is. And I just hope whatever poll they did, if there is still time, I choose for the original. I want the original, please. Thank you. But anyway, moving on. Regarding to a master set, Carmen says, I don't believe anyone said master set. Master set means something very specific to you all. Need to wait and see. Hot Spice says, do you guys think there is a chance they will only ship to the US? Only reason I ask is because I've seen Hasbro Pulse app is US only, and Avalon Games, when choosing region, only gives you the option of US and not Canada. Chris is responding to that and says, I think you're relatively safe in Canada in terms of shipping destinations, just an educated guess. So there we have it. Summing up with everything that was going on the Discord page. CapSocrates, thank you so much for doing this on the heroScapers forums, making everything so organized and clear and concise. Thank you so much. To the Avalon Hill team, thank you for answering everyone's questions. Thank you for being involved so much within this community, and it's so awesome to see. I hope you guys are happy with the answers that they are giving you to the audience, you guys, the heroScapers. I hope you're happy with what they're doing. I'm very happy with what they're doing. It is just discerning to know about if they are going to change the card designs or not. How are they telling the story through media? Looking at the Hero Quest line, we'll take a look at that as well, a little bit more in depth, and see what they are doing with Hero Quest and what the history of, just so we know what to expect, and so we're not too surprised or disappointed to know what they're going to be doing with heroScape, because heroScape is awesome and unique and we all love it, and we don't want to be disappointed. And I don't think that the Avalon Hill team will let that happen. I don't think Craig is going to let that happen. So thank you guys all for watching. Please let me know what you guys think of all the historical characters and what you guys think of all the different things coming out right now. Tune in, check out the previous video, check out the next one coming up week 3. Some amazing stuff coming up. Can't wait to talk about it. So leave a comment on all of what you hope to see, and don't forget to ring the notification bell, hit that subscribe button, and tune in here for more heroScape news and heroScape content. I am not crazy. I'm so crazy. Peace.